Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And this.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, like I said, please make sure you go ahead and like our Facebook page as well. And if you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit us up on YouTube and hit that red subscribe button so you can go ahead and check out shows like this one, and go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can go ahead and be notified for shows like this one in the future.
Ding.
Thank you for that, Ish. And as well, if you are on Twitter, go ahead and check us out on X Talking Ish. And you can go ahead and check us out on my personal page at X_Williams81 as well, because I've already retweeted it on there. All righty, then. We know why y'all are here. Of course, we are here to preview the NFL divisional playoff matchups we have on Saturday and Sunday. Usually, of course, we would preview our games on a Sunday for the Sunday slate. And, of course, because the playoffs start on Saturday and I will be at work, we unfortunately cannot do our show on Saturday, so we are doing it on a prime time version on this Friday night. So, Ish, before we get into, of course, the nitty gritty of the games, how do you feel about what we are going to see in this weekend? Because there's a lot of hype. It's a lot of hype. All four of these games have very, very crucial implications moving forward when it comes to teams, individual players, coaches, legacies. I mean, it's a lot involved in this weekend coming up. So, give me your take on what you are wanting to see this weekend.
Like you said, I mean, there's a lot of hype going into this weekend because there are a lot of really good matchups. I think you start off the weekend with a really good matchup between the youngsters, the Bengals, the up and coming team, and the Titans, who have been pretty steady for the past couple of years. They're just looking to finally, reach that Super Bowl, get back there. It's been a long time, but it seems like they've been, knocking at the door for a while now and just haven't been able to quite kick it in. And is this going to be the year? Now they got the number one seed that they'll finally kick that door down, get back to the Super Bowl. So that's a big game. And you follow that up with the 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, we all know what happened with him in the offseason. This may be his last year in Green Bay. How is he going to end this year? It's a big set of games for him and the big playoffs for him. We got to see if he's going to be able to, finally get back to the Super Bowl and maybe win a Super Bowl before he ends his career in Green Bay. The Rams and the Buccaneers, that's a very big game on Sunday. You got the Rams, who they've traded it all, like we talked about on Tuesday. They traded it all to compete now, to win now. They're definitely in win now mode. And what better way to, announce yourself on the national stage, announce yourself as a contender, than to beat the reigning champs at their home in the playoffs. So that's a big game, gonna be very interesting. And then you end the weekend with the rematch of the AFC Championship game from last year. We all know how that went. I think it's gonna be a very good game. I'm excited about it. Both teams seem to be playing pretty well going into this game. So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, this weekend, it's not hype just because people want to hype playoff football. It's hype because these are four really good matchups.
Now, this is the varsity weekend. Last weekend we had the JV.
Yeah.
Let's be real. We thought it was going to be some, really good games. We had a 5-game slate. Really 1.5 type of games really was good. Everything else was pretty much blowouts. I don't really see too many blowouts. I see maybe one by more than 10 points. And, of course, that'll be the first game that we're going to talk about, and that's the Bengals versus the Titans. Again, depending on how you look at this game, it's going to be very interesting, just the whole circumstance of this game from, like you said, Ish, segueing into the young Bengal cats. Let's be real. They are a year ahead of schedule. We talked about them all season long. I remember when the beginning of the season, we were like, man, this is a really good team. And then all of a sudden, it kind of fell off a little bit, went from first in the division back to worst, and then all of a sudden they made a late push and was able to beat teams that they needed to beat to make it not just to the playoffs, but also winning the division, which is something that they can definitely hang their hat on not just with this season, but moving forward. You hear the confident words from Joe Burrow saying, hey, this is not just a coinky dink, or this isn't just a one time thing, that you are going to see us in the playoffs moving forward. If you are a Bengals fan, be prepared for this being the standard. And for Joey B to be saying those types of things, you got to respect it, and you have to respect the confidence and he has, and also amongst the team. Because one thing that I did say about this team, especially last week when they hosted their playoff game, is this whole crew has nothing to do with the old Bengals. You know, this isn't even our high school era Bengals with TJ Hujamama, Chad Johnson, Carson Palmer, Chris Henry. This is a whole new group of Bengals that don't care about the past. So, like I've said plenty times before on the show, when you are young and dumb, not in a bad way, not dumb, but when you are young, it is a pro and a con when it comes to being able to go out and go play freely, because you have no pressure. If you lose, it's like, oh, it's the Bengals, but if you win, it's like, oh man, look, wow, these Bengals are really, really good. Let me go keep on watching them. And look, I also know too. Look, I watch a little TV. I know everybody really wants the Bengals there. I know they want to talk about Joey B and Jamar Chase. And I got it. They're exciting to watch. I got it. Nobody wants to watch the Titans. I got it. They're boring. Run, pass, play action. Run, play. I got it. But at the end of the day, Tennessee Titans are number one seed in the AFC for a reason. Not because they lucked up and got it. Throughout the whole season, you can go back and go look at the whole season. The Tennessee Titans have been the most consistent AFC team. They've only dropped to the number 3 seed in the standings, and that's the lowest seed that they've had in the AFC throughout the whole season. So, for the Titans, to be honest with everybody, I think this is a statement game. I honestly feel like for the Titans. The reason why I say that is because for the Titans to have the number 1 seed, for them to have Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league, for the Titans to have both of their main wide receivers healthy, not just main wide receiver, but everybody on both sides of the ball completely healthy, and nobody on the injured list going into this game, there should be no reason why you're not supposed to win this game. That's just how I see it. And this is not the Titans of old. I think they've already proven that. I could be wrong. They kind of took a step back last year when they lost to the Ravens in the first round. But this is another opportunity, as Mike Vrabel will say about this team, to be able to go out, put on a performance, and let people know what Titan football is about.
Yeah, I mean, I love everything you had to say. And you still crying, "Woe is me," and no one likes us, and all this. So
Go watch Good Morning Football.
Seem like
Go
week in
watch
and week
everything.
out.
Look, I'm just
we come with more tears about how the Titans aren't respected and everything, which is fine. It's cool. I understand. The key for me is definitely defense. It's going to come down to defense for both teams, and for different reasons. For the Cincinnati Bengals, who have the 5th ranked rushing defense, we need to see it. We need to see it. If ever there was a time for them to show up that front 7 and make a statement, help the back end of that defense out, this is the game. We're going to need to see it from that front 7, because you got a healthy King Henry returning. Deontay Foreman has been performing a lot better than I think a lot of people expected him to perform as well. So they got a really good 1-2 punch coming out of that backfield. That is going to be interesting to see. What is the mix between King Henry and Deontay Foreman, and are the front 7 of the Cincinnati Bengals ever able to stop them? And for the Tennessee Titans on the other side, that secondary, it seems like every year we talk about the secondary, and we talk about, is the secondary going to be able to make the plays? Are they going to be able to help the defense out? I mean, they've got the 2nd best rushing defense, but they've got the 25th ranked passing defense. And I mean, the thing for me is going to be this secondary against Joe Burrow and these young receivers, and how do you hold up? Because I expect you to hold the ball, run the ball, and do all the things that Titans do, right? Grind it out, fight, and play a real solid game. But if you get ahead and you do allow, if you get ahead, like you plan to get ahead, right? And the Bengals have to start throwing the ball. Are you going to be able to withstand that passing attack? Is what we need to see from the secondary. There have been questions about them. Like I said, every year we seem to talk about them, but to me, I just think this is the year that defense just steps up, does what they're supposed to do, quiets all of the naysayers, all of the haters, and they're going to play Titan football. And just like I told you in the pregame show, X, for me, I can't help but say
Oh Lord, here we go.
TITANS, Titans, the best. TITANS, Titans, the best. TITANS, Titans, the best. I'm
Y'all
just
see what
saying
y'all
it right
started?
now.
Y'all see what y'all started?
TITANS, Titans, the best. King Henry is back. I'm ready to see him running over boys and providing the stiff arms that we all missed from week 9 until week 18. We are happy to see you back, King. And man, I just think the young boys from the Bengals, unfortunately, Cincinnati, y'all gonna be putting y'all place on Saturday. Y'all are gonna be putting y'all place. Y'all gonna get a good little spanking, a reminder that you still gotta wait your turn. Okay, respect your elders and go on back to Cincinnati and go wait. All right, I just see it going that way.
Now, everything that you're saying, look, you're not wrong, okay? I understand rankings, of course, when it comes to the secondary, I got it. But one thing I will say is when you have a decent front four and the quarterback that you're playing against is on their back, it doesn't matter how bad
Yes,
the
sir.
secondary is, okay?
That is
And
correct.
let me let everybody know that at the moment, the Tennessee Titans are the only team in the NFL that had 3 players with 8+ sacks: Harold Landry, Danico Autry, and Jeffrey Simmons. And also, the Cincinnati Bengals are the third. I'm sorry, has the third most sacks in the NFL.
Mm, mm.
We saw the Raiders get to Cincinnati, get to Joey Burrow last week when they played against Cincinnati. And Max Crosby had a nice field day with the Raiders. It's going to be interesting to see if that same thing carries over to where the Titans are able to get to Joey Burrow. If that is the case, it's going to be a long day for him. I
Long
don't see
day.
Joey just sitting back there and just picking this Titans defense apart. Like you said, Ish, they are still young to where I wouldn't be surprised at all if Joe Burrow sees some defensive looks that he's never seen before, and that might confuse him a little bit. So again, it's going to be interesting when it comes to the coordinators how they game plan for this game. Are the Titans going to just completely try to shut down the run with Joe Mixon and let Joe Burrow throw the ball around the field, or are they going to try to double Jamar Chase and try to just limit him to where he's only throwing it to tight ends? So that's the cat and mouse game that we're going to have to see within the game itself. And overall, let's just go ahead and get to the picks. Of course, we both picked the Titans to win this game. I've already said I think the Titans will win by at least 10 points, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a tighter game than even I think. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get it done. As long as you win the game, you go on to the next round. That's all that matters. And like you said, Ish, when it comes to a team being young like the Bengals, let's remind everybody this isn't the NBA or MLB where you can make a run and it's only sometimes where you can make a run and get to the Super Bowl. When you're a young team, like you said, sometimes you have to just get to the playoffs, get to a round or two, take your L, and then build on that going next year and the year after that, where you can look back on it. Just like I'm using my Tennessee Titans 2 years ago when they went to the AFC Championship game with Tannehill and the crew before Julio Jones, of course, got there, lost to Kansas City in Kansas City. That is now a great learning tool to look back on and say, look, guys, we were that close. We were that close, right? As long as we are able to control the game the way we need to, we can be able to at least make it back to an AFC Championship game, and who knows, maybe even a Super Bowl. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and move on to the night game of that Saturday slate, 49ers versus the Packers. Ish. Woo, I'm going to let you start off with this one because I have a lot to say, and like I said earlier, legacies on this one, legacies.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I mean, I know everyone knows what's at stake. Everybody knows what's going on with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and it possibly being his last year. Whoop de whoop, so on and so forth. Um, for me, the key of the game is Mr. Josh Norman and how he matches up against Devontae Adams. Not necessarily that they're going to let him follow Devontae Adams,
I don't
but
even think they're gonna let Josh Norman on the field.
I'm hoping they don't.
I'm being completely
I'm
honest.
hoping they don't. But if he ends up against Devontae Adams, how do the Packers capitalize on that matchup is the key. Also, how do the Packers respond to the movement of Deebo Samuel and all the tricks and all the magic and pizzazz that the 49ers do with Deebo Samuel? I am very interested to see what this game looks like because if you do remember, these two teams did
Played
play
each other
earlier
in
in the
week 3.
season
Yes,
in
sir.
week 3, and
Yes,
the
sir.
Packers won by 2.
Yes, sir.
So it was a very close game, which I expect this to still be a very close game.
That was in San Fran, though.
And it was in San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now we're in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately am going to be the crazy person this week, and I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm going to roll with the 49ers to the Super Bowl, like I've been saying, like I picked before the season started. The 49ers to the Super Bowl. I think that this
You can pick them
team.
during the season. Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
I never said that. Anyway, before I was really interrupted, I just think that this 49ers team, they got their back against the wall. They've got that us versus the world mentality. Kyle Shanahan has definitely got these guys ready to play. They're coming out. They're doing all the things that they need to do to win these games. They're playing discipline. The one concern I have, really, other than Josh Norman being on the field, is Jimmy Garoppolo and his situation and his health. That is a big, big red flag because if Trey Lance ends up having to come in this game, yeah, it's not even close.
I don't think he's ready.
Not
No,
at
I don't
all.
think he's ready. Unless he just has this performance of a lifetime where everybody looks at him completely different now. But
no, it's not even close. So that's the one. I'm hoping Jimmy G stays in the whole time. If he does, I expect the 49ers to win this game.
well, you kept it short and sweet for the most part. I actually have a couple of things to say about both teams. I'm going to go ahead and start off with
Go
the
ahead,
49ers.
go ahead.
First thing first, let me go ahead and start off with the coach. Let's talk about Kyle Shanahan for a little bit. We have to seriously start giving him his roses because this is a man that, and I'm pretty sure maybe I'm wrong, but I know I looked at it this way. I'm pretty sure a lot of people looked at him like, oh, another daddy boy, another coach coming in because his dad coached the team, and he probably he probably just got the job because his daddy, right? Well, that's not really the case. Of course, he went up through the ranks. He was, of course, he went to the Super Bowl as offensive coordinator for the Falcons, and of course got the head coaching job with the 49ers. And ever since he's been with the 49ers, every year, even the year last year where everybody and their mama was hurt, they find some way to continue to stay, not even relevant, but just stay in the mix to where you don't want to get into an alleyway fight with them. Because if you meet this Niner team in an alleyway, they have guys like Deebo Samuel, they have guys like Trent Williams, they have guys on both sides of the ball
Kittle.
that and all, when I'm not even talking about the defense yet, Bosa, they have guys that are going to go to war for one another, and it's very hard to create that type of culture from time to time in professional sports because in reality it has to be organic. You can't force certain relationships, and it seems like with the 49ers, it seems like they just have it, right? It just seems like they know who they are. Jimmy G know who he is. Deebo Samuels know who he is. They know who they are. They play to their strengths. They know their weaknesses to where they try not to let their weaknesses be their downfall. And we saw what happened last week against the Cowboys. I think being able to beat the Cowboys, the sky is the limit for them now, to where the pressure is not on the 49ers this game. The pressure is all on the Packers. And for the 49ers to come in, at first I was going to pick the 49ers. I really was. I think they can still continue to roll. But for me, looking at not just the Packers, but Aaron Rodgers, man. Aaron Rodgers at the moment is 0-3 against 49ers in the playoffs. I'm a trendy type of guy. I usually like trends, but this is a trend that I think might be broken tomorrow if Aaron Rodgers is able to do what he does best, which is go out there and go be that.
For you to pick it's so convenient for you to pick against the trend when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, but then when it's the Tennessee Titans or anything, then no, we can't pick the trend.
It's not even the same thing.
The trend is holy when it comes to the Titans. All right,
it's not even the same thing. This man here, he knows. Look, Ish, you and I both know the drama that happened in the offseason and where they are now. This is a very interesting type of moment for not just Aaron Rodgers, but also the organization. What happens if Aaron Rodgers does take them to a Super Bowl and win one? Does he still stay? Does he leave? These are some interesting type of scenarios that are going to be questioned after the season is over with. And I feel like the way that Aaron Rodgers has played all year long, he's has grown the hair out. Apparently his pinky toe's been hurting him, but nobody can tell that his pinky toe's been hurting him. And I think he's gonna go out there and go put on a good performance of Aaron Rodgers, not the 0-3 clunker against the 49ers. But I think he's gonna go out there and go put on a really good performance. And of course, with the additions off of IR with Za'Darius Smith and also Whitney Merciless, that helps out the Packers tremendously on that defensive side to where I just feel like as a team and what's at stake, and also the head coaching matchups between friends with Matt LaFleur and also Kyle Shanahan, I think with the Packers, they know that they have to get this job done. And I'll say this, because if Aaron Rodgers does leave, we really will get to see now if Matt LaFleur is as good as a coach as he think that he is. Because it's easy to coach when you have Aaron Rodgers on the football field. I could be wrong. I'm just saying. I look at Kyle Shanahan. I say, man, he's doing a really good job of what he's doing with San Francisco with a type of quarterback that he has. It's hard to really, for me, to measure what Matt LaFleur is doing when you have Aaron Rodgers really running the show. Yes, I know Aaron Rodgers is saying, hey, LaFleur's coaching and they both work with one another, but let's be real. We all know it's the Aaron Rodgers show. But overall, as y'all can see, of course, we have our picks for this game. Is there anything else you would like to say before we get up out of here and move on to the next game?
No.
All righty then. Let's go ahead and move on to the Sunday slate games. The Rams versus the Buccaneers. Ish, would you like to start or you want me to go?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I started the last one. You can go ahead and take this.
First things first. I'll start off with the
realist.
Rams. You already know. I'll start off with the Rams. And besides them, and we talked about this in pregame show, they're all in. Offensive side, defensive side. There are some guys on that team that has never been to the ultimate game. You got guys like Von Miller, of course, that's been there and won one. But for guys like OBJ and Matt Stafford, these are really this could be a year where it changes the outlook on how we look at Matt Stafford, how we look at OBJ, right? People thought his career was over with in Cleveland. Now, all of a sudden, he's out here scoring touchdowns again. Got him a Moss action last week. Of course, we're going to see that probably on Sunday morning when on You Got Moss. But for the Rams, what I'm really going to be looking for is what is the offensive line going to look like without Whitworth on that left side, because he is ruled out at the moment. And if you don't think that's a big deal, I'm letting y'all know that is a very big deal, because the way he's been playing this season, especially for a 40-year-old guy, I know Tom Brady gets all the love for being 40-plus years old and playing, the way he's played. Mr. Whitworth should also get his roses as well, too, because to be 40-plus years old playing offensive line in this NFL, too, hey, much props to you. So with him being out, also we saw with the Rams last week where they had almost all their safeties out. You have to bring in Weddle. Is that something that's going to be exploited with Tom Brady and this Buccaneers team? Yes, they do not have AB, but at the end of the day, you still got a Hall of Fame Mike Evans. Mike Evans is going to the Hall of Fame if he continues his ways. A Hall of Famer in Gronk. And even though Leonard Fournette is not going to be playing, I feel like it will still be running back by committee for Tampa Bay, and they will find a way to get the job done. I think so, and take care of business. But it's going to be a very interesting game. I think this game, besides the Bills and Chiefs game, I think this game might be the closest one, just due to everything that's at stake. I mean, Tom Brady is not playing against a sorry defense. This is a defense that's, loaded with talent all across the field. So it's going to be interesting, man. But I think due to the Rams going to Tampa, I'm going to have to go with the home team on this one.
I like what you're saying. Everything you said, I respect that. I hear it, man. Going with the home team, the defending champions, Tom Brady. Who's gonna go against that, man? Especially in the playoffs, the dude comes up clutch every year. For me though, I just think that it's time. It's time, man. They traded all these assets. They traded these picks to compete now, to win now, to beat the Buccaneers. They knew, and I definitely think that front office knew, we're gonna have to go through the Bucs if we want to make it to the Super Bowl. So they prepared for playing the Bucs. They built the team to play the Bucs. They went and made that trade for Von Miller for the Bucs in the playoffs. I think that they have the front seven to put the kind of pressure on Tom Brady that can create the situations that we all know and love, where he's throwing the tablet on the sideline and all the memes come out of Tom Brady yelling at people. I think that this front seven is that front seven. They can do it. They can find a way to frustrate him. I think that on the back end, they've got one of the best cover guys in the league in Jalen Ramsey. He can definitely step it up. And on the offensive side, they have been running the ball with the best of them. If they can continue to run the ball against this really, really good, if not great, Tampa Bay front seven, we all know what they did last year to Patrick Mahomes. You don't want that to happen to Matt Stafford, and the way to prevent that is to run the ball. If you can run the ball with Cam Akers and Sony Michel, which I expect them to come out and try to do that as much as possible. If not running the ball out the backfield, setting up screens so that they can get them out in the space, get a couple of guys in front of them and make some plays, just to slow down this pass rush a little bit, give Matt Stafford a little bit more time, and then let him hook up with Cooper Kupp and OBJ. I think that this team is built to play the Buccaneers. That's just my feeling. I feel like that's what they were building towards. That's what they wanted. And hey, here we go. This is what you wanted to play for, pretty much play for it all in Tampa Bay against the reigning champions. I think that they will find a way to win this game. I don't know why. I know it's not smart to go against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but I feel like the Rams will finally find a way to get past these guys.
Not just going against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but going against Tom Brady in the divisional round at the moment. Career-wise, he is 14-2 in the divisional round. And the last divisional round loss that he took was against the Tennessee Titans, and that's the last game that he played as a New England Patriot. So
interesting.
I'm just throwing it out there. But I will say though, when it comes to the Rams, just like the next scene next game that we're going to talk about, if not now, then when? I mean, look, this is an opportunity, man. This is an opportunity for the naysayers of Matt Stafford, for them to be on hush mouth for just another week. For the Rams to be able to go through the gauntlet of being able to beat Tom Brady, and then depending on who they play in the next matchup, who knows, maybe Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy G and the crew. And then here's the thing. But again, even if the Rams win and go to the NFC Championship game, you have to go against Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau, right? Or you play against your divisional rival who you've had trouble with all season long to get to the Super Bowl. That's what's crazy to me in this matchup, because Also for the Rams, if they win this game and the 49ers lose, they host the NFC Championship game in LA, and they win that game, they have the Super Bowl in their backyard too, which will be the first ever to have the NFC in the Super Bowl played at home. Of course, you saw that last year with Tampa Bay playing their Super Bowl at home. That was the first time in NFL history that happened. So, Ish, as we can see, Ish has the Rams. I have the Buccaneers. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting for us to split on some of these games. I really was expecting for us to agree with most of these games, but hey, I'm excited. We're thinking differently on some of these games, and it's going to be like we talked about. I'm getting into the show. It's going to be some very interesting games and interesting just chess match, cat and mouse game, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be very, very interesting, and I cannot wait until that Sunday. All right, Ish. Your boys. Bills versus Chiefs. Actually, I'm sorry. Chiefs, as Andy Reid would say. I'm going to let you go first, sir, because this is your team. So I'm going to sit back and listen and let you do you.
All right. Well, right off the bat, let me address the elephant in the room. I'm choosing to ignore the results from week 5. I'm choosing to ignore the beating that was 38-20, where the Buffalo Bills went into Kansas City, proved it already, went into Kansas City, and they beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I'm ignoring that result because I don't feel like that was the same team that is going to play this weekend. I think that was a different team. That was a team trying to find its way. And now you have a team with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill that are playing some of their best football that they've played in a while. If Jerick McKinnon can continue to his performance from last week, it's going to be a good game. I think that, like Randy Daniels said, Chiefs revenge tour. They've been trying to, they're wreaking havoc on all these guys that beat them before. They want to make a statement, go back to the 3rd Super Bowl in 3 years. I mean, and like you said, for the Buffalo Bills side, if not now, then when? When will you do it? When will you get over the hump? When will you finally, take that next step? Josh Allen, I think, has been playing as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he always gets the love that he deserves, but
he gets the love.
I feel like he's right up there with Patrick Mahomes and some of these other guys that we always talking about. Ultimately, for me, just to keep it, short and sweet, this Buffalo Bills team, they're built to beat the Chiefs. They are built to beat the Chiefs. Like, this team has all the right pieces to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and I believe they will do it this weekend. I believe, despite my love for the Kansas City Chiefs, despite me wanting the Kansas City Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl for a 3rd time, despite me picking the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl before the season started, I think the Buffalo Bills go into Kansas City and for the 2nd time this year beat the Chiefs. I think that Josh Allen and his legs will be the difference in this game. I don't doubt that the Chiefs will be able to slow down that run game, which always appears to be abysmal when you talk about Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. But I think Josh Allen and his legs in the run game is what makes the difference. I think that he's going to break out of the pocket. He's going to have a couple of runs here or there on 3rd down to extend some of these drives. I think that he's going to hit Stephon Diggs for some big plays. We already saw what happened with Jamar Chase playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. If they want to play defense against Jamar Chase like that, I hope that they plan to do something better for Stephon Diggs, because it'll be a lot worse than that. Especially with Josh Allen throwing him the ball. So for me, I just think looking at this matchup, we talked about it with Dallas against San Francisco, right? We talked about matchups, and sometimes in the playoffs, it's all about that matchup, right? I think that this matchup is a bad matchup for the Chiefs. I think that the Buffalo Bills are kind of like the kryptonite for the Kansas City Chiefs, as far as they got those pieces in place on both sides of the ball. I think defensively they do enough to just kind of pester the quarterback, just irritate you, mess with you enough to make some bad throws. They mess with you enough to kind of get you out of your game plan. And I think that that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to get Patrick Mahomes to force some throws like he did earlier in the season. They're going to try to get him a little bit flustered back there to feel the pressure that he has to make the big play, that he's got to make a spectacular play instead of doing what they've been doing these past couple of weeks on the back half where they won all these games of taking what the defense given to them. I think that they're going to make it to where Patrick Mahomes feels that pressure of, I've got to be the guy. I got to be special. And that's going to cost the Chiefs the game. And I just know and feel it in my heart that the Buffalo Bills have it this week. They're going to finally get over that hump, and they're going to play the Titans in the AFC Championship game. And that matchup is one that I can't wait to see.
Well, everything that you said, Ish, was very beautiful. That's why I wanted you to go first. I wanted you to be real about your team and be real about the matchup that we have in front of us. One thing I will say about this game, though, at the end of the day, the Chiefs have championship mentality. They have championship
Very true.
heart,
Very true.
championship everything. They've been there, done that. But for them to be able to have that, they had to get over their hump as well too. It took them a couple of decades for them to finally get to where they are at now. It's not like the Chiefs have been winning Super Bowls for the last 20, 30 years, right? And even with the Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 years straight in the 90s and didn't win one. They've always been a pretty good team as well, too, in the AFC. They just can't get over the hump. But I will say this. For everybody that's tuning in, don't let Ish fool y'all, okay? don't let Ish fool y'all. Ish out here playing the little smallest violin out here, thinking that he want to have this little soliloquy out here for y'all, so they can make Ish wants to make y'all think that the Chiefs are really gonna lose, but in reality, the Chiefs gonna find a way with Patty Mahomes to win this game. Because what I really want as a Titans fan, I want Kansas City. I want Kansas City in Nashville. Revenge. You want to talk about revenge tour? The Titans won our revenge tour too in 2019. Okay, that's what we want. I want the AFC Championship game in Nashville.
That's not what you want.
And
that is not what you
that
want.
Is everything that I want.
It's
Ish.
not what
and
you
if
want.
it happens, I will be there. I will be in Nashville to watch that game, and we will have a live X Talking Ish in Nashville for that game. Sure. I promise you we will.
That's definitely not what you want, though.
Oh, that's what I want. Before I finish up, let's go to the comment section from my boy Randy. He says, if the Chiefs don't turn the ball over, they win.
I agree.
And Randy also says, I thought the same thing, X. And look, when it comes to this, a lot of people really feel like this game should probably be the AFC Championship game anyways. And I respect that. I got it. Both teams are really good.
Nobody wants to see the Titans.
Like you said, it is. Look, you said it, not me. You said it, not me. So I appreciate you for keeping it real. So for this game, it's going to be a game that's going to be all laid it all out, right? Nobody's going to give up, of course, until 0-0-0. But for the Bills, this is an opportunity for you to not just win the game, but for you to put your foot on the Chiefs' necks and step on it for a little bit, the same way you did the Patriots last week. If you want everybody to take y'all seriously, you have to do the exact same thing you did last week and step on the Chiefs' neck to let everybody know in the AFC.
Jump out early. Yeah, jump out early on them. If you jump out early on them, oh my goodness. Let's just wait and see what happens with Patrick Mahomes and this offense and how they respond. Because if they jump out early like they did the Patriots, like you said, that is a chance for Buffalo to really step on the neck, twist the knife a little bit and let them suffer. Because and that's my belief. They are built to beat the Chiefs because of that. If they get up, oh man.
I will say this though, nice little tidbit. Kansas City is averaging 32.2 points in the playoffs with Mahomes as quarterback, the highest in NFL history. So that means that most likely the Chiefs gonna put up at least 30 points. And for the Buffalo Bills, that means you gotta. Well, I'm just going off the average. That's what I'm giving. And if that is the case, it could be a shootout in Kansas City. I think the final score would probably be like 35-32. I wouldn't be surprised something like that, 30, 38, 30, 34, something like that, to where it's going to be close and high scoring. I don't think this is going to be a defensive type of, 17-20 type. I don't see that. Both quarterbacks going to get theirs. It's it's either going to come down to who's going to have the ball in the last one or two possessions, or what defense can cause a turnover that's going to change the game. Either pick six, scoop a score, special teams type of play. Something needs to happen in the game from on the defense side or special team besides offense that's going to help either team, win this game. Because the offense, like we know both teams, we know both offenses are pretty damn good, but there are question marks for the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they have played so much better in the second half of the season. There are some question marks for the Bills as well too. But like I said at work all day, I don't give a damn about no stats. I don't give a damn about no hype videos for all teams. I don't give a damn about none of this stuff no more. It's playoff football. We about to strap them helmets up. We get on the field, and we about to smack somebody in the mouth, put that right there on their chest, as Coach Phrase would say, Ish. And we about to play up some football, baby. We about to play up some playoff football. So I don't give a damn no more about what he say, she say. We about to go play up some football, Ish. And if you're not excited for that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm about to go run through a brick wall right now, Ish. That's what I'm about to go do. I'm hype.
Yeah, you should probably calm down. You're old now, so.
You are correct on that one. You are correct. I might hurt myself.
You ain't going to recover from that one.
Ooh, it's going to take me just a little bit longer. Instead of a week, it's going to be a month. But other than that, is there anything else you want to talk about this game before we get up out of here for tonight?
Nah, man. I mean, I'm just excited for these games. Last week, I think there was some excitement because it was the first round.
It was a lot of excitement. I was excited, and it was like...
I feel like it was kind of like, okay, it's all right. I mean, other than that excitement from the Dallas game, it kind of seemed like,
And unfortunately, Cowboy fans are still crying about that game. It's Friday, and they still over here crying like, dude, y'all... Anyway, we're not even gonna talk about the Cowboys next year.
But yeah, I think this week is gonna live up to the hype. I expect it to live up to the hype. I think there are gonna be 4 great games. Starting with Saturday, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to finally see the King back in the backfield. Woo. I'm expecting a nasty stiff arm. I'm just, man.
All I know is, again, if we win, I'll be in Nashville. That is it. That is all. In the words of Kendrick Perkins, carry on. All righty then.
TITANS, Titans, the best. Oh, man.
Anyways, y'all see what y'all did? Y'all over here bringing this back to the college days. All right, with that being said, this is another episode of X Talking Ish. Please join us again on Tuesday for our recap show for, of course, the wrap-up of the divisional games. And hopefully I'll be in Nashville next week. That's my hopes.
We'll see.
With that